Algebra 1, Chapter 4, Section 1. So we just completed a chapter on graphing. Now we're going to look at writing equations in slope-intercept form. So let's recall what slope-intercept form looks like. And that's y equals mx plus b. Remember where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Remember the y-intercept, the y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis. And so very basic to start off, they're going to give you, they're going to tell you the slope is 2/3 and the y-intercept is -8. So if I want to put that in y equals mx plus b form, the slope is going to go where my m is. So that is y equals 2/3 x, and the y-intercept is going to go where b is. Remember that plus a -8 is just -8. So that's slope-intercept form with a slope of 2/3 and a y-intercept of -8. Now that may seem really simple, and it is. Maybe they say maybe they tell you what m is, and maybe they tell you what b is. It just depends on the wording. And so now we throw it in as y equals -1x minus 6. Now we would simplify that up because we don't put -1s out there. It would just be -x minus 6. And so just taking the two pieces of information and plugging them back into y equals mx plus b. Now the second part of that is they're going to go from a graph and they're going to maybe give you a couple of points. And so if I were to make this line, that's not very good. There we go, that's better. And then they tell you that that's 0, 8, and this is 2, 4. They're going to ask you to put that in y equals mx plus b form. So the first thing I'll ask you is what's the y-intercept? So we go up the y-axis. I'm just going to go up in red until it hits, and that's my y-intercept. So my y-intercept, keep it in red. And now I need to find my slope. So what I'm going to do is change colors, and I'm going to find my rise over run. And so when I rose, it was 4 spaces. Probably could have picked a better color, but that's all right. And when I run, it's 2 spaces to the left, which is -2. Now I can simplify that. 4 divided by -2 is -2. And so if I have, I forgot to put my run, sorry. So if I have a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of 8, let's go with blue here to finish it off. That's going to be y equals -2x plus 8. Just taking the points that they gave us and putting those onto or into the slope-intercept form. You'll see in some of the problems in the book, they will just give you the points, and you'll need to go ahead and graph those and get that information. Now, let's take a look at some that might look a little bit different. What if I had this line? We all know what that is. Oh, I'm still in blue. We know that's a vertical line. And so vertical line is just x only. And so that's going to be x equals 5. Okay, that can be considered slope-intercept form because we don't have a slope on that one because it's vertical, and it's not going to have a y-intercept because it's not hitting the y-axis. We could also have a horizontal line, and this can be considered y equals mx plus b form. In this case, it's just y equals 3 because it has a slope of 0 and a y-intercept of 3. So be careful with those. The horizontal and vertical lines, you can do that way. That's a pretty short screencast, just around 6 minutes. So that is Chapter 4, Section 1, Writing Equations in Slope-Intercept Form.